My name is Marcus Ellison. I'm 41 years old, a furniture maker, and until recently, a husband. My life has never been glamorous. I don't own a yacht. I don't wear Italian suits. I don't fly private. What I do own is a workshop, a set of tools I know like the lines on my hands, and a reputation in my town for building pieces that last longer than I will. That's the world I came from. And for 9 years, I thought that was enough for Claire, my wife. The workshop. Every day starts the same. I open the workshop just after sunrise. The moment I push the heavy wooden door, the smell hits me. Sawdust, varnish, oil. Sunlight filters through dirty windows and cuts across the stacks of lumber. The workbench is scarred and stained with years of effort, each mark a little history. That Thursday began no different. I was sanding the legs of a maple chair, radio playing softly, coffee half cold on the bench. The simple rhythm of sanding always calms me. Push, breathe, turn, repeat. But around 8 o'clock, a sharp pain twisted in my gut. I brushed it off. Maybe bad leftovers, maybe just gas. Men like me were stubborn. We pushed through. We don't cancel work for stomach aches. By 10, the ache had turned into stabbing pain. Sweat ran into my eyes. I dropped the sander and hunched over, breathing hard. My shirt clung to me. I told myself I'd finish one more chair leg, then sit. But by noon, I collapsed to the floor, surrounded by sawdust, clutching my side. The call lying there, gasping, I pulled out my phone. There was one person I trusted to help me, Claire. 9 years of marriage. 9 years of promises, in sickness and in health. I dialed her number with trembling fingers. It rang twice, then went straight to voicemail. Seconds later, a text buzzed through. I'm at lunch with Leonard. Can't just leave. 8 words. That was it. Leonard, the so-called family friend. He'd been appearing more and more in her life. Lunches, coffee, texts. Always harmless, she said. Always just catching up. I stared at her message, chest heaving. My vision blurred, partly from pain, partly from disbelief. I typed one word back. Okay, because what else was there to say? The ambulance minutes later, my apprentice Diego arrived. Just 20 years old, eager, hard-working. He found me on the floor and shouted, Marcus! Stay with me! His voice cracked with panic. He called 911. The sirens came fast. Red lights painted the brick walls as paramedics rushed in. They strapped me to a stretcher. One asked who to call as my emergency contact. My wife, I croaked. They dialed her number 3 times in the back of the ambulance. Each call went unanswered. The ride blurred in flashes, the paramedics' calm instructions, the monitor beeping, my fists clenched from the pain. But underneath all of it was the sting of her absence. She wasn't there. She had chosen a lunch date. The hospital at the ER, doctors prodded my stomach. I nearly screamed. They scanned, tested, whispered to each other. Finally, the surgeon looked me in the eye. Your appendix is ruptured. We need to operate immediately. Then a Chicago PD sergeant entered, clipboard in hand. He'd been asked to help reach my wife. Do you know where she might be right now? He asked. Yes, I whispered, wincing. The Sterling Room, with Leonard Hale. He nodded, jotted it down, and left. The restaurant I wasn't there, but I can see it in my mind as clear as day. The Sterling Room is one of those places where steaks cost more than a week's groceries. White tablecloths, chandeliers, waiters in vests, the kind of restaurant where everyone talks just a little louder so people at the next table know how important they are. And there was Claire, laughing at Leonard's jokes, wine glass in hand. Acting like she didn't have a husband fighting for his life across town. Then the doors open. 2 uniformed officers walk in. The room falls silent. Conversations stop mid-sentence. They walk straight to her table. Mrs. Ellison, one says, voice carrying. Your husband's in the hospital. Emergency surgery. We've been trying to reach you. Every head turns. Every whisper begins. And my wife, so polished, so composed, is suddenly stripped bare in front of them all. That image, her mask cracking in public, steadied me as they wheeled me into surgery. The messages hours later, I woke up, stitched, groggy, alive. On the bedside table, my phone buzzed. 3 new texts from Claire. You always make drama out of nothing. Leonard needed me. You've always been too weak for me. I read them again and again. 9 years together, and that was what I meant to her. Weak. I deleted them. The brother that night, my older brother Malcolm, walked in, steady as always. He saw the state I was in, saw the texts, and shook his head. "This ends now," he said. "No more excuses, Marcus. No more letting her walk over you." The next morning, while I rested, Malcolm hired a locksmith and a moving crew. By noon, 58 labeled boxes filled the garage. Claire's clothes, handbags, perfumes, shoes, every trace of her life packed up. The locks were changed. For the first time in years, my house felt like mine. The confrontation. Saturday afternoon, Claire came back. Not alone, of course. She brought her mother, Vivian, the queen of cold stares and sharp jewelry. They tried the old keys first. Didn't work, so they rang the bell. I didn't answer. I watched through the video doorbell. Claire finally stepped inside and froze when she saw the wall of boxes. Her face went pale. She called out my name, voice shaky. Vivian didn't flinch. She just said, "Leonard's waiting in the car. Let's get this over with." And just like that, my wife carried her life out of my house, one box at a time. The aftermath. 3 weeks later, the divorce papers were filed. The court didn't look kindly on a wife who ignored her husband's medical emergency. She tried to spin the story, tried calling, emailing, begging. But every word was about her embarrassment, her inconvenience, her image. Never about what she had done. Neighbors later told me Leonard's Tesla had been parked in my driveway every Tuesday for months. The betrayal wasn't new. It was routine. Freedom now, months later, I'm back in my workshop. The Hendersons' chairs are polished and ready for delivery. A new bookshelf waits in the corner. My scar is healing. So am I. Claire once told me I was too weak for her. She was right. Too weak to cheat. Too weak to lie. Too weak to abandon someone I loved. And thank God for that. Because that weakness saved my life. For the first time in years, I'm free. Thank you for watching.